it's ynathemoodreader and welcome to the second part of my October 2020 reading wrap-up. In the first video, that if you have missed, I'll be linking it down below. I talked about 10 audiobooks that I listened to last October. All of those were from script, and today we'll talk about the rest of the books and my reading stats. Now, before we start, I have prepared some affiliate links in the description below. If you're interested in purchasing these books and checking them out, just a full disclosure, I'll earn a small commission at no additional cost to you if you make a purchase, but it would really help keeping this channel afloat and support me in all my bookish projects. So thank you in advance if you decide to do so. Now, let's get it on with the rest of the books. So basically, I have read another set of 9 ebooks. Some of those are arcs, and one book is a paperback. Somebody is licking my foot, so I'll show her to you. Munchie says hi. She just had her hair cut, so she looks a little different right now, but she is still very cute and still very clingy. So yeah. So in reality, I was only really able to read 19 books instead of 20 for October, but I forgot to include this book in my last wrap-up, and it's The Love Study by Chris Ripper. I read this book as a part of the Karina Press blog tour program, and it's a part of Karina Adores, which means that it is an LGBT romance. It has a happy ending. And The Love Study is about a YouTube channel wherein this host wants to set up her friend for dates, and they would try to study what makes relationships work, what would made you want to date a person again, and compatibility between two people. So both of these people are in the LGBTQ plus spectrum, and one of them identifies as non-binary. So the representation is amazing, but of course I am not one to talk. I'll try to look for some Own Voices reviews and link them down below. But I enjoyed this book. I rated it 4 stars. So if you're looking for some LGBT romances with promised happy ever afters or happy for nows, I recommend picking out Karina Adores reads. Okay, now at the start of October, I joined a readathon, and it's a Kindle Clear Out readathon, wherein you pick out some arcs that you have, or technically not really arcs. You are free to pick out any book on your Kindle that you want to clear out, because most probably you have tons of books just sitting there on your Kindle waiting for your attention. So I made a video about that. I'll be linking it down below, and if you want to listen to my reviews of these books. So basically, for that readathon, I was able to read 3 books. One is Chasing Waves by Bianca Mori. I gave that 4 stars. It's about a workplace romance in a call center, which is very adamant here in the Philippines. The author is a Filipino. And the second one is Sweet on You by Carla de Guzman. It's also a Filipino written romance. It's between a baker and a coffee shop owner, so it's really cute. There's a lot of Filipino food, Filipino culture references, and Filipino language in the book. It just came out recently, so I hope you grab a copy. And it's also from Karina Press. So, okay. Once she just said bye. And the third book I read for that readathon is Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which I had as an arc but haven't picked up. Can you imagine how foolish I am? So yeah, I really enjoyed Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Watch my review for my thoughts. But I rated it 4 stars. I rated Sweet on You 5 stars, and I'm very excited to read the rest of like Talia Hibbert's books. Danny Brown's book is already out, and Eve Brown's book is coming out next year. The next 2 books I've read for blog tours. The first one is I Hope You're Listening by Tom Ryan. It's a mystery thriller wherein our lead character has a podcast about missing people because she herself was involved in an incident when she was younger, and somebody abducted her best friend, and she was the survivor. And her podcast is really famous, but she like didn't let people know that the owner of the podcast is her, because they might link her to the incident when she was younger. And then a missing child's case again came out in their town, which made her like feel the responsibility to do more. And then it's also linked to that case when she was younger and all of those things. I enjoyed that book from TBR and Beyond, and I rated it 3.5 stars. Now, the next book we have here is a fantasy historical fictionish book, and it's A Golden Fury by Samantha Coho. It's a book that I got as a part of the Wednesday Books publisher run blog tour, and I know that you know by now that like fantasy is not really my thing, but there are fantasies that I enjoy, and this book is one of those special creations so that I actually get to enjoy. This book revolves around alchemy and a girl's like journey. It revolves around the Philosopher's Stone, which like all of us are familiar with, probably because of that book. I won't say its name, but yeah, this book is filled with adventure, and it was nice to read something that's really not my go-tos, because it cleared my mind and it made me focused and try to absorb what the book is really about. I link my review for this book down below. It's on my blog, ynathemoodreader.com. And next we have Love Unexpected by QB Tyler, and I forgot the BookTube video that recommended this to me, but there was this time where I was like addicted to watching recommendations videos. And in fact, my commonplace notebook by now is filled with thriller recommendations. I have 85 thrillers here, and then as I was stuck in the rabbit hole of BookTube, I found a few forbidden romance titles, recommendation videos, so I wrote them down, and one of those titles is actually Love Unexpected by QB Tyler. I surprised that it was actually a recent release. I just grabbed a copy on my Kindle, and it's about forbidden romance between a stepdad and a stepdaughter. So basically we have our main character, and her mom married her high school principal when she was, I think, 10 or very young. She was in middle school, I'm not sure, but something happened and her mom passed away. She's 18 now, I think, in the story, and as much as she hated her stepfather throughout her life, they were able to comfort each other in these sad times, and then the lines got blurry and they fell in love. So basically that. I enjoyed parts of the book. There were like realistic themes here, but it's always what you can expect with forbidden romances. I still enjoyed the book because of all the angst and the tension and the drama. So I gave it 3 stars. Next we have I have 3 more books. The first one is Not Quite Dead by Dawn Harris Sherling, and this book is a medical thriller wherein this laboratory analyst brought to the hospital, something happened to him. The patient is dating this intern, and it just so happened that she is the one in the emergency room. I'm not sure. in the room when he was brought in. So the girl was feeling curious about what happened, and she had her like instincts that something is wrong, and this book is a mystery revolving around that. So my thoughts on this book is that though like a medical mystery sounds interesting, this book is like really filled with medical jargon, perhaps because it is written by a doctor. But the thing is, for laymen like me who like has medical knowledge only from Grey's Anatomy, it can be confusing. It can be an information overload to read about all those medical terms. So it took away some of the interest in the book, and it messed up the pacing as well. So I gave it 3 stars. Okay, next one is The Ghost Hunter's Daughter by Caroline Flaherty, and it's a YA book, very light horror book in terms of like the horror part, but very dark in terms of the contemporary part. And it tells the story of this girl who is, just like the title says, is the daughter of a ghost hunter. But the thing is, she is the one who can see demons, monsters, creatures, and ghosts. So this book is filled with like references of ghosts and thus the paranormal, the supernatural, but it also revolves around real life problems like grief, like bullying, abuse, and all of that. It's a combination of both, and it wasn't really what I was expecting of the book, but all in all, it was an okay read. So I'm giving it 3 stars as well. And the last book is another 3-star read. It's The Perfect Nanny by Leila Slimani. It's a translated novel, so I just put the name of the translator here because I forgot. But this one is about a nanny who like changed this world of a family because of how amazing she is, how great she is at doing her job as a nanny. And eventually, because she was so good, it's like she was replacing the mom, and she has really this good relationship with the kids. And in spite of being hired for just being a nanny, she became the housekeeper. She cooks, she cleans everything, she does so much for the family, and then something happens. And that's the thriller part of it. And in the blurb of the book, it was compared to Gone Girl, but I really didn't get that. It took a while for the book to pick up, and I was struggling a lot in continuing on reading the book because I was really in the mood for quick action, fast-paced stories, and it just wasn't it. So all in all, I'm giving it 3 stars as well. And those are all the books that I have read in October. Now we will be talking about my wrap-up, and I'll be sharing with you guys some of the stats. First, I was able to read 20 books in total for October, and in the formats, I read 10 audiobooks, 9 ebooks, and 1 paperback. In terms of the pages, our total is 6,288, which is wow! I was so happy about that. But for the ratings, it wasn't like really a surprising month. It wasn't like a month of flying colors. We have 8 books with 3-star ratings, another 8 books with 4-star ratings, and only 4 books hitting the 5-star mark. And because I have been reading mysteries and thrillers all throughout the month, I read 14 books for the adult age group and 6 young adult books. Now, one thing that disappointed me a little on my choices is that I read 16 books by white authors, 2 books by black authors, and 2 books by Asian authors, and they are both Filipino. So But if you have POC thriller recommendations, please put them in the comment section so that I can like diversify my reading when it comes to mysteries and thrillers. And in terms of the genre, I was able to read 14 thrillers, 5 romance reads, and 1 fantasy book, which is like okay, because my main purpose for October really is to read full on thrillers. So yeah, those were the details of my October reading experience. Please let me know if you also make like a little wrap up for your reading as well. If you have like this stats page like I do, I would love to know how you do it so that we can compare. And you can also share to me like the best titles you have for October, and if I haven't read them, I might pick them up soon. So yeah, let's just talk in the comments. Leave something down below that we can talk about, just because. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye!